welcome to this next episode of Spotlight in Education. Today we are here at the KSBG studios and we have as our guest, we have Senior Naval Science Instructor Mr. Ruben Esquivel, and he is responsible for overseeing the NJROTC program here at San Benito Schools. We want to go ahead and welcome everyone again to this episode. This episode will concentrate and be student focused, and so in a few minutes we'll also have a student join us who does participate in the NJROTC program. So at this time, first, welcome Mr. Esquivel. We appreciate you being here today. I know that there's a lot to do with our students at San Benito High School, and so I'm glad you're able to take the time to be here with us today.
Thank you for having me, sir.
So one of the things we want to do is kind of give an overview and kind of give recognition to the Naval JROTC program we have in San Benito. And this is a program that's been around for a number of years, an award-winning program, a program that does have a good number of students participating every year. And so we know we see them at events such as presentation of colors, at civic events, and also, of course, in the football games, but there's a lot more that gets done. So first, I want to share and get to know you and our public to get to know you a little bit better. And first, can you share your military journey that you had during your career? And then, of course, how did that lead to now your current role as the Senior Naval Science Instructor at San Benito High School?
All right, sir. Well, thank you for having me. And a great question. My journey actually began here in San Benito in 1997. So I graduated from high school, enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1997, and January of 1998, I reported to Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, for recruit training with the Marine Corps. And ever since then, I've always been in charge of someone. And as I progressed throughout my career in rank, of course, with that also increased responsibility with personnel and equipment. And it wasn't until I was commissioned a Marine officer in 2008 that responsibility greatly expanded to all the way from being a first lieutenant in Kandahar and Helmand Province, Afghanistan, to where as a watch officer with the Air Traffic Control Detachment, they're responsible for Marines, all the way up to my current rank in a Marine Artillery Regiment, where I was responsible for several multi-million-dollar accounts, fiscal and equipment. So during that whole time, I had the honor and privilege to serve with and lead some of America's finest in both peacetime and wartime. But all that to say that in my 26 years of service, the Marine Corps has given me the tools to where I can be successful. Yes, I can be successful in anything any challenge that comes my way. Like similar to that old adage, you adapt and overcome.
Yes. Well, what a great career you had with the military, and again, thank you. And it's always a sense of pride whenever we have San Benito's own join us. And again, so you did retire, is that correct?
I did.
You retired recently, is that correct?
Last year in June, I retired after 26 years of service.
Yes. And that didn't keep you back from working, right? So then you joined San Benito CISD?
Yes, there was an opportunity for me to for this position as a Senior Naval Science Instructor, and I took it, and I haven't looked back and enjoy it every day.
Great. I think that's a great asset for our students, for our program, when we do have somebody from San Benito that went through the military, made it a career, learned everything, like you said, you learned all your life skills, your working skills, your ethics, everything that you bring to the table as a former military officer. And at the same time, you're giving back to our community. You're giving back, you're being a mentor and a role model to our students, and leading the program that we have here in San Benito. So again, thank you for that, and what a great history. We appreciate your service to our country as well.
Thank you.
So when we look at particularly the high school program, what high school preparations or what led you to the military? Was there anything, I'm assuming there wasn't a program such as the ROTC program back in 1997, 1997. And so what sparked your interest in the military?
Yep. So the NJROTC program with San Benito was established in 2001 after I graduated, which is unfortunate because if they did have a program while I was going through school, I would have enjoyed it, immensely. But my interest in the military just started when I was a kid. Just I can remember, going back years to where I'm studying military history. I always had a keen interest in military. And even going through high school, I knew I was going to be joining a service. I just did not know which branch. Okay. And it wasn't until my senior year that I decided on the Marine Corps. And that was because I wanted to be a Marine. It's, if you ask someone, why did you join the Marine Corps, that they can say, well, I joined for educational benefits or for travel or just for a challenge, whatever the case is. I just wanted to be a Marine.
And that's probably the best kind of Marine because you're going in wholeheartedly, you're looking at it in terms of career, service to the country, so thank you for that. And so what are the main objectives of the Naval, and we do have, our ROTC program here in San Benito is a naval based, or it's naval related. And so each ROTC and different programs in the different high schools across Texas have different sponsorship, is that correct? So you'll have the military, you'll have the Marines, you'll have the Army, Air Force, and San Benito has a naval JROTC program. What are the main objectives of that program, if you want to share a little bit about an overview of the program itself?
I will. So San Benito NJROTC program is one of two programs in the Valley that are sponsored by the U.S. Navy. Our sister unit is in Los Fresnos. And so I will read verbatim. The official mission of the NJROTC program, which is to instill in the students the values of citizenship, service to the United States, personal responsibility, and a sense of accomplishment. So nowhere there does it say that I also have to incorporate or send students into the military from a recruitment basis. We are not a branch of any service component recruiting commands. So, and that is a stigma that I'm still trying to break today. But within our program, my main focus is just to ensure that those students, when they graduate from high school, they have the knowledge I have given them from my perspective, and also just with the naval science studies that is given to them, that they are that much more competitive in comparison to their peers. Because I tell them every day, even in high school, you're competing with someone for something, and that doesn't stop after high school. Right. That keeps on going, especially in the military. So it just gives them that additional push in comparison to their peers.
So great work ethics, skill sets that they learn from the program. Again, they don't necessarily need to follow the track of joining the Navy or any kind of armed forces, or even the law enforcement sector. They're just they're wanting to participate in the program, getting the benefits from it, and it also, but these are all, like I said, life set skills that they can use anywhere.
Yes.
Whether they're in their teaching profession, whether they're in the medical profession, it'll carry with them throughout that. So.
You're exactly right. Yes. Example I give the students is just another pathway. For example, all the students that are in football or in choir or in band, does that mean they're going to go join a professional football team? Maybe, but it's just another pathway for them and what they're interested in. And fortunately so that there's students that are interested in this pathway and it is available to them, unlike the other hundreds of schools throughout the United States that don't have a program similar to this, and they're on the waiting list to get a program similar to San Benito.
And that's the important part, is us to be able to maintain the program. There is a level of, accountability that has to be adhered to, and accreditation as well, I believe. so that we will continue to have this prestigious program in our community, our schools, and then also in our community. So, but we have had individuals that have participated that have gone on to military careers. Is that correct?
That is correct. Most recent example is a couple of weeks ago, a former cadet, class of 2024, stopped by my classroom in his Marine uniform as a private first class. And, you know, like I said, former cadet, and because he went through the program at least 3 years or more, he was able to get that extra grade and rank. Okay. Instead of graduating from Marine boot camp as a private, he was a PFC, private first class. And that's just another benefit of the program, because the military will see it, and the recruiters, that's one of the questions. If they pursue a recruiter, that's one of the questions they ask them. Have you ever been in the NJROTC program? Because if so, that just bumps them up in comparison to their peers.
That's awesome. So they're working towards something. If, if their goal is to be part of a military, military sector, then that carries with them. So if they do outstanding work as a member of the cadets, then of course that may carry over with them to their career, which is good. Great. How can students participate in San Benito High School, and what courses are needed in order to participate? Does a student who has an interest, do they come to you? Who do they go to when they want to be part of the program?
So when students approach me in the classroom or outside of the classroom with an interest in the NJROTC program, I direct them towards their counselor. I say, contact your counselor and let them know you want to be a part of the program. And then from there, they'll be, the other cadets will welcome them with open arms, and the things that they will encounter during their time in the program will include physical fitness, basic close order drill or marching, and yes, because you're in a Navy program, you will be required to wear a uniform at least once a week. Sorry, not my rules, that's big Navy rules. Okay. And also, just what entails with academics, naval science studies, things of that nature. But when a cadet joins one of my competition teams, whether it's physical fitness, drill, orienteering, which is similar to land navigation, or academics, my color guard teams, that sphere just greatly expands to where now they're going outside of the Rio Grande Valley to high schools and other places in Corpus Christi, in San Antonio, Austin, and beyond. You know, and that's at no cost to them, so they don't have to pay for anything. The U.S. Navy pays for everything, travel, food, things of that, transportation. They just need to show up and compete and win. Be part of it. Essentially, yes.
They have to put the work in, of course.
Yes.
Yes. And so, so it is, they do receive credit, correct?
They do
receive credit towards graduation. That's part of their high school graduation credits. And so I've seen some of the competitions that they participate in. So, and it's very intrinsic. It's very, it's a lot of work. And so I can tell that the work that they put in is a lot of hours. So it is something that it's not only being a part of the class, wearing the uniform, but it's also being part of the actual activities. Yes. And so now we do have students, and I've seen it throughout the years. I've been with the district for 26 years, and I've seen students who, a variety of students. It's not just your top-notch students who have an idea that they want to join the military. It's students who probably have had a little bit of a hard time, whether it's behavioral problems or whether it's attendance issues, that become part of the ROTC program, and now they have the structure, they have goals, they have a pathway that will help them want to be part of the system. So a lot of times I worked for many years with the at-risk youth in our district, and so that's a lot of the times that's what our students need. Yes. Structure, a pathway, teachers believing in them, program, being a part of a program, being part of it, having an identity on the campus helps them steer towards having a better behavior, better grades, better attendance. So I'm sure you've seen this just in the short time that you've been with the program. You've seen the evolving of some of our students. Is that correct?
I have every day,
Yeah.
every day, and starting this school year, I have seen students, even first year students, cadets, that I've seen their progression in their mannerisms, in the way they carry themselves, the way they're asking and answering questions. You know, you get students that are shy, they're uncomfortable in front of others or talk. Now they're jumping at any second to have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So I see it every day.
Yeah. And again, working with at-risk youth for many years, they're almost thirsty. They're wanting that structure. They're wanting people to mold them in the right direction. So the programs like NJROTC does exactly that. Just going back, of course, you've shared a little bit that and you've only been here for 1 year, but like you said, cadets come back and they say, I'm now part of the military or I'm part of the law enforcement community. Is that something that, that you hear often from colleagues from other schools?
I do. And one of the things when these students are in my classroom, just to add to that, is on my wall there's a lot of hats, you know, caps that are hanging. And the question I get is, what are those caps? What are they there for? And it's just a great example of former cadets who have enlisted or received a commission in one of the services. They come back and say, I made it, here's a cap. And so my whole wall is lined up, which is a great story in itself.
A wall of accomplishments.
Yes.
Great, great. Well, and what is your idea now that you'll be finishing 1 year in this role, and next year you now feel like you've gained the experience you need in order to know what's going on in San Benito, the program itself. What ideas do you have for recruitment for students, or what kind of awareness would you want to bring to our elementary and our middle school students when they do get to the high school level and want to be part of this program?
Well, in January, the school was able to hire another naval science instructor, so we are now full staffed, which allows the team to go to those middle schools now and expand on those recruitment opportunities. Great example, this Friday we're going to be heading to Riverside Middle School. Myself and my competition teams, where in addition to just talking to them, we're going to be showing them a little exhibition, whether it's drill and unarmed drill.
Yeah.
And then after that, my PT team, my physical fitness teams are going to kick the students, you know, in line, not literally, but we're going to start doing some physical fitness during that time. So it'll be on hands for the 8th graders, and I'm excited. And I know that we will be going to Miller Jordan and Berta Cavazza after spring break. Yes.
Good.
So,
So part of the recruitment process. And so that's what we need. And I would also say the elementary students would just take it in like sponges. They probably have a lot of questions as well. So that's good that there is a recruitment of the program, because we want this to continue in San Benito and spark the interest of some of our students. And so there's a couple of things we want to share that is about the celebrations and about the activities that you do. But what we're going to do now is we're going to close this segment because we're going to have one of our actual cadets join us. And so we'll have questions with him, and then we'll come and bring it together at the end and talk about some of the highlights, some of the community service you do, and some of the celebrations that take place also with the NJROTC program. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and close the segment with Mr. Esquivel. Mr. Esquivel, thank you for being here with us. Very insightful, knowing your career, knowing you're from San Benito, you're part of San Benito now. Welcome back again. And we look forward to what the program will be like. As I always say, every director, every leader of every program kind of puts a special touch of the program. So we're excited to see what your special touch is going to be, making it your own for all of our students. So we'll be back in a few minutes. We're going to be joined with one of our students who is actually a cadet in the program. We're back here at Spotlight in Education with a focus on our San Benito High School NJROTC program. And so today we have a student joining us, one of our actual cadets, joining the panel of discussion so that we can hear the perspective of a student. So joining us here today, we have NJROTC Cadet Senior Chief Petty Officer Alan Lerarde. Thank you, Alan, for being here today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome for being a part of this panel. And we're interested to find out students' perspective about the program. This, of course, has been a program that's been around for a number of years. And so we want to ask you a couple of questions and how the cadets see the program, but at the same time, how it inspired you as well. So one of our questions, first question we're going to ask you is, can you share a little bit of the students' perspective that participate in the program? Like, what is the mindset of the students that want to participate in the program?
All right, so I'll start off by saying that every single student in NJROTC has that first step, right? So I'm going to state my perspective for my freshman year. And automatically, the first day you're in class, it's a whole different environment, atmosphere than what you're used to in a regular classroom. One, you're not really taught about this in middle school and elementary. This is something you're just kind of thrown into. At least in my shoes, I was just kind of thrown into it. And at first, it wasn't something I wanted to do because I didn't know what it was. But I'll tell you what, after that first day, I was interested because our old chief, Chief Cartan, which was at the VMA, it's responsible for, just disclosing what the unit was, what they stood for, told us about the drill teams and the opportunities that you can get by meeting people and doing these activities that no other program in the school offers. That's your freshman year, just kind of a sponge, just soaking all this up, right? But as you go on throughout the months, you'll get more leadership opportunities. You'll start noticing that there's going to be people that you're going to have to teach, and so that one day they're going to fill your shoes that you're walking in, right? So I'll tell you, for my sophomore year, I was selected to be the regulation drill team commander, which was a big step for me. I wasn't ready for it. I didn't know what I was getting into, but being in that position really broadened my perspective and has really given me the opportunity and that experience for my future. Whether I join the military or not, whatever career I go to, I'm going to have just that background.
Great. And of course, you moved up, you participated in your junior year and now your senior year.
Yeah,
so now you're the senior chief petty officer, correct? So that is the highest ranking that we have in the organization?
No, it wouldn't be the highest ranking. The highest ranking would be the cadet commanding officer.
Okay.
But it is one of the three main leaderships, which would be your CO, the cadet commanding officer, your XO, your cadet executive officer, and then me, the cadet senior enlisted cadet or the cadet senior chief. My responsibility was just more so maintaining everybody from the enlisted perspective. And so what enlisted means is any rank that's not an officer rank. So those that have jobs, but I take care of those guys that really don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? So I teach them, make sure they're in the right order. If they're doing something wrong, I tell them, correct it. Just basic stuff like that.
Well, it's a very important job.
And next year when Alan comes back as a senior, just that level of responsibility will increase even more. So.
Yes. Number of years. Looking back at your freshman year, that first day, would you have put yourself in this position, or would you have imagined yourself?
Not at all.
Great. And so that is the work and the dedication that it takes in order to get to that level. And who knows where you may go for next year. Has your participation in the NJROTC program created a pathway towards a military or a law enforcement career? Is that something you're thinking about?
I'll tell you what, the NJROTC program really opened up opportunities for a lot of careers, and more than just law enforcement and military. It really, yes, obviously, right, because throughout the military, if you decide to go through there, NJROTC has already given me a basis. If I join the Navy as of now, I can join in as an E3 or a seaman, and that's already a big boost, and it's already increased pay. It also opens up opportunities for college. So there's scholarship opportunities that come from NJROTC. You can go for the NROTC scholarship, which can pay up to over $200,000 for full tuition. All you have to do is just be in the program and then also have good academic standings and good physical fitness, right? So a lot of people don't even know about that opportunity in the first place, and NJROTC has taught me about those opportunities, and there was really no other way I would have known if I hadn't joined.
Great. And as an instructor, is that important for you to let, especially our seniors, juniors and seniors, know that there are pathways in order to get to college? And
Yes.
so,
Yes, it's not just tuition assistance or, you know, things. There's multiple resources, and one thing I tell them is if they still don't know what they want to do when they leave high school and they need more time, enlist, because that buys you at least 4 more years to think about what you want to do when you grow up, you know, in a
Right.
sense. But when you come out of the military, you bring with you more educational benefits, more medical benefits than what you had prior to. So,
and I know that, and I'm sure you've experienced it in your career, many people go to college and then they join the military. And so that's another avenue that people also look at too, especially if they're looking at particular careers,
Yes.
whether it be nursing, engineering, anything like that. They sometimes go the opposite direction. They start the college, they graduate college with their degree, and then they join the military. And so that gives them also a sense of direction as well of what they want to do with their career. Yeah, great. Is that something that most of the students are also looking at when they're now junior, senior year, they're looking at some of the options they may have in front of them?
Yes, I do have a lot of friends that are interested in joining the military and have these ideas of what they want to do, and NJROTC has really helped kind of narrow that down for them. And yeah, so if that's what you're interested in, yes, it's a big boost. But that doesn't mean that if you join NJROTC that has to be narrowed down into that pathway, because it also just gives you that leadership experience. It gives you that responsibility that you can carry that wherever you go.
Great. It's another way of creating pathways for our students.
Yes.
Sometimes we think, oh, it's only college. It's only we have to do a technical. There's also the military and just a broad sense of choices that the students
correct.
have.
More
which is great.
opportunities and more pathways you have, the better for that student once graduation is behind in the
Right.
rearview mirror. They can select from several of those.
Different things, and the benefits that they get from it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, keeping in that direction, can you kind of share, or you're speaking to future cadets? What would you say? What would you say to elementary students, middle school students that would want to hear the positive benefits of being part of the NJROTC program?
All right, so to go with the benefits, I know I've mentioned a little bit of the benefits with, your job and your future, but I would say another really big benefit that's kind of overlooked and not really mentioned is the benefit of just being in a team, having that dynamic, having your friends, all the people you meet. If you join the drill teams, you go outside of the Rio Grande Valley and have you can meet so many people and talk to so many smart and experienced instructors. And I think that alone is something that, again, not many programs offer, but just a big step up from all your other peers, right? Just
Those little benefits that we take for granted that are beneficial to some of our students. Some of our students may never have been outside the Rio Grande Valley. Some of our students may not have experienced meeting people from another school,
Yes.
and so this provides that kind of opportunity for them. We know that when we hear of the ROTC program, we usually start thinking about the presentation of colors, the cadets that provide that, or being escorts at community events. Even on the field, at the football games, of course, they present the flag and the colors. Is that something, a sense of pride that you all have as cadets, that you being a part of that and representing San Benito that way?
Always, it's always an honor for me to be up there, to even be up there within those 4 in the color guard. It takes a lot of hard work, and every single member that you see up there put in a lot of work and time and effort to make sure that the drill comes out good. and they put a lot of planning before. Oh yeah, we're gonna enter this way, we're gonna look this way, and we're gonna not make a face. Like there's a lot of little things that go into that, and me myself, I have a lot of pride representing the city of San Benito and also the Navy, just
Great.
always keeping that discipline.
And I know it's as a MC of many programs I've done throughout the years. When we have the NJROTC cadets doing the presentation of colors, that is like a signature moment for us, and so that's what we want to do. And I know sometimes we may over ask the cadets. Sometimes I know we have reached out many times and said, well, they have a commitment, or they have a competition, or they have something. So sometimes the community asks us, can they provide the presentation of colors? And sometimes we have to say, they're students as well. They have other commitments, and they have other things within their program. And if they're able to do it, they will do it wholeheartely. But we understand that sometimes they're not available at all the times. But when they are, it's a really special treat. So thank you as students and as instructors for getting that to it. And I know there's some events we've been to where it's like scorching hot and then very, very cold. Whatever the weather is, the cadets are there, and we want to thank them for being a part of that. And so I just want to share a little things of celebrations and some of the things that the cadets have done, some fun stuff. And by fun stuff, I mean some of the competitions I've seen. I've been to the area manager's inspection ceremony. I loved it. I had never been to the one here in San Benito. So I was able to see that in November and experience that. And so a great sense of pride when you see the students. I was a band member, so I understand the drill component. I understand the marching, the intricacies that are involved in that. Of course, this is the military setting, but there's a lot of similarities, and there's a lot of components that we share as performing units, I should say. And so I appreciate that. Also the rifle work that's being done, that's awesome. So if the community ever has a chance to experience these kind of programs and these kind of inspections, ceremonies, please join us, because this is a great way to see the work that they do every day. Again, it's not just the presentation of colors and being escorts or being ushers at some of our events. This is the fun stuff that they get to do. This is what really excites them. And you can tell the excitement just when they're doing that. And so can you share, Mr. Esquivel, some of the competitions that they've been to and some of the experiences that they had this year?
Yes, so some of the competitions that they've gone to, it'll range between several events, depending on what that host school is doing. So it's either a accumulation of drill, physical fitness, orienteering, academics, just things of that nature, and that puts, San Benito High School right up against some of those top tier schools in the state of Texas, whether they're coming from San Antonio, from Austin, and they do it with pride. I mean, just seeing them out there perform, and they're just, yelling, the pride of the Rio Grande Valley 956, and they go out there and they give it their all every single time. And especially when talking about the area manager's inspection, that is the cadets, that is all them. It's their chance to show the public. It is open to the public, and it's a chance for them to show not only San Benito, but the area manager, who has over 30 schools under his charge, to go and see what has San Benito done. And it's always a treat to see that. And and just recently with the other event this past weekend, yes, with the military ball, another opportunity to show San Benito, just the sense of pride and camaraderie within the unit, and it's just a sense of just coming together.
Yeah. And Alan, are you part of the competition groups, or are you part of the drill groups?
I
and
am
so,
part of the drill.
how much work does it take to prepare? Like, if there's a competition coming up in a month, how much work needs to be put in for that competition?
A lot of work. It takes a lot, especially if you're training new people, whatever it is you're doing. whether it be physical fitness, you have to train for that. You have to train for the drill team, make sure the show is good, make sure nobody's making mistakes, and color guard. And then there's marksmanship and orienteering, and you have to get all these things down right. Right, that's the only way you're gonna win in these kinds of competitions. It's not getting lucky; it's about doing it right, doing it good, right? So for me, being part of the drill teams for 3 years now, because I was in it my freshman year, I've learned about every single aspect of responsibility for the team, because being in the team takes a lot of responsibility, because you have to come after school during practice from 4:45 to 6 and put in that extra hours from Monday to Thursday. And a lot of people don't want to do that, but if you want to succeed in life, it takes sacrifice, and that's what the drill teams really teaches you at a young age.
Good. And do you remember going to your first competition, experience it, and then saying, okay, now I know the hard work that has to get put in because I want to be just like that school, or I want our school to be just better than that?
Yes.
And so do you see that also from our new participants that are a part, and they experience it, they open their eyes, and they say, okay, now I understand?
Yes, yeah, they see that hard work that every other school puts in, and they realize the only way you're going to get better than them is if you put in that hard work, or even harder than them, right?
And have you seen the competition? How many do they have per year, or how is it structured?
It'll range to what I've been told. My experiences this year is it's been a busy year. So during the, I'd say, first phase of the school year, we had close to 10 competitions.
That's a lot.
And during January timeframe, I think every weekend we were out doing something.
Great.
And so it's been a busy
Keeping you
time,
busy,
but
keeping you busy.
it's all for the benefit of the cadets.
Yeah.
And if they enjoy it, we're all having fun.
And is there like a state level competition, or is there
Yes.
like a?
So if once they the last competition, which was last month, by that time, all NJROTC schools within Area 18, which will be 8, then they'll go compete at Texas A&M.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be the state competition, and then after that will be nationals, which
Awesome.
is in Alabama, I want to say.
Great,
But
great.
unfortunately, we didn't make it this year, but I know the cadets are hungry for next year, and they're definitely going to make it.
Good. And that's what it takes, right? It takes what it takes in order to see the results you have this year. What do we need to do in order to get there for next year, and then beyond that? Like, they don't want to stop at state; they want to go to nationals and so forth. So, I'm sure they will get there. I know you alluded, or you talked a little bit about the military ball. Can you share a little bit about the military ball? What was that about? What was we know it's a celebration, but at the same time, what was it like?
So, from my perspective, I was a member of the Honor Guard, which was with the swords, right? So for me, the military ball is a ceremony dedicated to, all the hard work that the cadets put in. This is the time to have fun, because we're working hard all year, not really, we're having fun, of course,
Right.
during the trips, I can't say I don't have my own fun. Major knows. I can be a little silly sometimes, but on military ball, it's the time you get to not only commemorate all that work, but also celebrate what you stand for, right?
It's a chance for the cadets to get together and, in addition in celebrating and increasing that unit camaraderie and esprit de corps, it celebrates the service members, past and present, and what they represent, and looking towards the future, whether it's in the military or some other pathway, is just being successful, having fun, getting together.
And so I assume there's like a banquet, there's a meal,
Yes.
there's a presentation of cadets, and then there's a dance or some kind of fun celebration for them. So that's good.
Yes.
That's awesome. Are parents also a part of that as well? Or
No,
is
it's
it
just the
cadets?
cadets, distinguished guests, and this year we had a guest speaker who was my old boss, and so next year I'll eventually find another guest speaker for that event.
Great. Well, I know I heard of some great things, and so we look forward to that. We did take some footage of it, so we're going to be creating a reel of it. so that everybody can see what the experience was. Just in closing, I know that we always look forward. We're already in the month of March, and when we look at it, it's really like halfway March because of spring break. What projects are you developing, or what are the things that you want to look forward to for next year?
So one of the things I have as a goal for the program is to establish a drone curriculum within the program for the flying drones. The Navy has that program already in existence, that curriculum, and it's just me establishing it here in San Benito. But my goal for that program is to, when seniors graduate from high school as a cadet, they take with them a FAA drone pilot's license with them. So with that, that just opens up additional doors, whether it's in the military, whether it's in civilian sector or contracting. It just, again, makes them that much more competitive against their peers.
Right. So is that something you would look forward to, Alan, as a participant of that program? Yeah. That is something I know that last year's graduation, we had a drone show in the sky. It was very popular, and it's becoming a lot more popular in terms of the things that you can do with drones. Not just, it's entertainment, there's an entertainment component, but there's also a research component, marketing component. I mean, there's just a lot there doing that. I was at a Longhorn game this past September, and they had a beautiful drone show as well. And so you're just amazed of how they create these programs and they're transitioning within seconds and all this. And of course, it does take the knowledge, and it's also about science, about mathematics, and everything that it entails, because people think that you do have to have some kind of mathematic background and some form of knowledge of science and flying and aviation and all that. So that's good, and hopefully that is something that we can implement here in San Benito. Is there anything else that you look forward to for the new year?
For the new year, I just look forward to just, in addition to the recruiting opportunities with the middle schools, in order to increase our numbers, because more cadets that we have, the bigger we are, and the bigger opportunities that these cadets have for that. And so I'm excited to close out this year, and even more excited to get right into next year, just to see what these cadets, where they take this program.
And Alan, any plans for next year as a student and as one of the leaders of the program?
Yes, my plan is to just always do better than you did before. That's always, every day, just try to get better, right? So next year, that's what I'm going to try to do. As a leader, I'm going to encourage the people under me to, hey guys, we got jobs, we have things to do. Try to, just get better.
Okay. And so, again, we want to just point out that this is a program that we've had here in San Benito for many years. We want to go ahead and let the community know whenever there are some kind of inspections or performances that we can do, or any kind of events that support our NJROTC. We will definitely let the community know, because we feel this is important. It provides, these are all students from San Benito, and we need to be supportive of them. And so everything we can do, Mr. Esquivel, to promote your upcoming projects and upcoming events, we're here to do that, and we want San Benito to be a part of it, because I think this is a great way to support our students, and especially the students that are participating, but also moving on to their careers. This is another career path. Our next Spotlight in Education is going to be focusing on exactly that. We're going to be looking at college, career, and military readiness, and that is we refer to in school districts. We have our acronyms. That is CCMR, but again, that is college, career, and military readiness. And so all seniors, including juniors, the state of Texas requires that we prepare our students for the next level, the post-secondary level of education. And so CCMR does exactly that. It exposes students to college preparation, including financial aid, selection of college, the necessary testing that needs to be done as well. We also have career. We have the CTE program, the Career Technology Education Program, that has a lot of opportunities for our students that can, once they graduate, and they are a part of those programs, they can become certified or licensed in a certain area and be career ready. And of course, the military sector, which we discussed a little bit of today. Of course, participation in NJROTC doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be military steered towards the military, but this is a great way for students to get that experience and see if it is an option for them as well. So we'll be working on that segment later in March, and we'll be recording with members of the district administration that is overseeing the college and career readiness, military readiness segment of what we do here at San Benito. So once again, thank you, Mr. Esquivel, for being here with us, and thank you for coming back to San Benito once again. And Mr. Alan Lerarde, again, have a good junior year, and hopefully you'll be part of this. We'll be back talking about the program again as a senior as well.
All right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and that concludes our Spotlight Education for today. Thank you.